so curious to ask this because in my 5 years of experience and having gone through series of interviews or multiple interviews, this question has been, at the back of my head, but I've never had the courage to ask this because I'm scared that if I ask this question to an employer, they might, get the idea that I'm just after this stuff, which is why I applied in the job. So I want to ask, boss, from the point of view of an employer, how should the employee or the VA ask about compensation in a respectful, in a professional manner?
So a lot of VAs, most VAs probably struggle with this point. This is how you ask. First of all, ask yourself this question. Does what they're offering feel fair to you? Do you feel if you make the amount for the work that you're going to be doing, is it fair compensation? If it feels fair, then great. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't, then don't do it. Because if you go in a situation where you're going to feel like you're being taken advantage of, or you're not being paid for what you're worth, what you're doing, then you can try it out for experience. Maybe you need to make a little quick money, but long term, it's not going to feel good. It's going to become toxic. And so you want to make sure you're getting paid what a fair market rate is. The average rate for a Filipino virtual assistant in US dollars is about $4 an hour. It's a little on the low end. Anything lower than that is probably not a good long-term commitment. And anything higher than that is probably pretty good. So that $4 or 200 pesos an hour is kind of like that mark you want to set. In addition to that compensation, you want to be clear about how you're going to get paid. So we pay our VAs every 15th and 30th. I actually have a company here in the Philippines. So I understand Philippine labor law. I understand how pay works in the Philippines. And since most of my VAs have worked for Filipino companies before, they kind of expect the same thing. Most American small business owners, most foreigners in general will have no clue what that's like. So you can't expect that. But if you want that, you have to ask for it. Know what you're comfortable with. If they're offering you a regular pay every 15th and 30th or once a month and you're okay with that, then go for it. Yeah. I stay away from any job that promises commission-based as a VA. Mm-hmm. If you want to work commission jobs, go in the mall and sell, condos, right? Because that way, at least you know you're going to get paid. If a client tells you I want to pay you on commission, then it's probably a red flag. They're going to take advantage of you. You don't want to do too much work before you get paid. So I'm hesitant about telling a VA to take a job where they only get paid once a month. Mm-hmm. If they're not going to pay you every 2 weeks, then they're more likely not to pay you at all. So make sure you ask, how much am I going to get paid? Does it feel fair to you? How often am I going to get paid? Does it feel fair to you? And then how are they going to pay you? Are they going to send you a PayPal? Are they going to do it through some kind of remittance service? Make sure that's clear.
So it's not a crime to ask about compensation.
You have to. Now, let me tell you two cultural differences between Filipinos and Americans, right? Americans are all about money. We're not shy about money, right? So we talk about that kind of stuff all the time. If I have a job for you and I'm going to pay you, then we expect you to be upfront and ask about it. We expect you to have questions about compensation. We're not going to get offended. If we as a client get offended about you asking about compensation, it's a scam. Yeah. I can guarantee you. Because most Americans, in fact, any American business owner I work with, they expect it. And the second thing in a cultural difference is that Americans are very much like to the point. If you want to know something, you ask it. And that's very much in our culture. So you're not going to offend us by asking questions about compensation because we expect it and it's in our culture to just be open about that kind of stuff.
That's something for you to take note of. It's not bad to ask about compensation. Know what you're worth and don't settle for a job that does not pay you right.